Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Just bear with me, I'm making sure my iPad works. Yep, it does. The sound is there. Good, excellent. I have trouble with my sound sometimes. Today I am actually revisiting the Parisian Beauty suite from the 2020 mini catalogue. With so many exciting things happening at Stampin' Up, it's easy to forget our favourites and move on to the new and shiny, but this is one of my favourite suites, so it's nice to come back to it now and then. I'm actually using the beautiful designer series paper from that suite and some of the embossing folder and the colours as well. So this is, you can see, quite a tatty piece. It's my last piece of this paper, so I'm going to have to order some more before it goes. But as you can see in the light, it's got a beautiful champagne gold highlight. So if you like this paper, please grab it before it goes, although the catalogue goes through to June. So anyway, so coupling with that, I'm going to use a couple of new things to me. They've been around for a while, but I haven't actually bought them until now. We have the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which is just a sentiment stamp set, which I'd sort of thought to myself I didn't really need because I've got plenty of sentiments. But what I actually find really handy with this one is that it's got all the sentiments in one place. If you're anything like me, you have a few stamp sets and you know there's a sentiment you like, but you just don't know which stamp set it's with. I know a lot of people use Excel spreadsheets and things to organise themselves, but I'm not quite that organised. So this one's perfect. We've got birthdays, sympathy, thank you, congratulations, the whole sort of general sort of stuff that we use every day. And I'm also coupling it with today the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I'm using these two here, but there are a lot of really nice dies in this die set. We've got a stitched rectangle with a lovely scalloped edge, so that's really, really nice. So it couples our favourites of a bit of a lacy edge with some stitching. And I'm also using this sentiment box here, which is stitched also, and it's got a really nice sort of square sort of look to it. But it's got another couple of really nice ones here as well, so I'm actually using that middle one. I've done a lot of the cutting today, so you don't have to sit and look at me cut, and I've also done the embossing. So really I'm just to the point where I'm going to be stamping and putting our card together. I did actually case this card from a fellow demonstrator on Pinterest, and for the life of me now I can't remember, and I've written it down somewhere, who that demonstrator was, so I will pop her name in the comments afterwards to give her the credit she deserves for this beautiful card. Usually when I get things off Pinterest I change them a little bit or put my own style on it, but to be honest with this one I think it's perfect and I didn't change a single thing. Okay, so to make this card, which I've built up the anticipation for, I have my normal size card base. So this is Whisper White thick cardstock, which I always use for my card bases. It's 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've scored it in the middle to form a normal A6 card base. Then I have a panel of Petal Pink, which is the beautiful colours that go so well with our designer series paper, and that is 1/8 of an inch smaller than our card base, so that it is 4 inches wide exactly and 5 5/8 long. And then I've got a panel of the Pool Party, which is the other feature colour for the designers for the suite, and I've put this one through the embossing folder that came with the suite, so it's really, really nice. It's got some swirls and some blossoms on there, very French looking, and it was another 1/8 of an inch smaller, and I've popped that through, so you can see you've got a slight touch of the petal pink and the white around the edge there. Then what I've got is a stitched rectangle, a Stitched So Sweetly rectangle. It's the largest one, and I've got that in petal pink as well. And then to go in there, and the star of the show, I've got, well, the white. I've got a Whisper White panel, which just fits nicely inside those stitches. It's 3 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and a beautiful piece of the designer series paper that fits in there, which is the star of the show as far as I'm concerned. And it is 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I have got, as I mentioned, the Stitched So Sweetly sentiment box, which I'm going to stamp with a sentiment from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. and a piece of ribbon, which is here somewhere, and I hope I don't forget it. I always forget to put my ribbon in before it's too late. This is the beautiful champagne trim ribbon that comes with the Parisian Suite as well, with a nice champagne gold metallic edge. So really all I have to do is put our card together, and I'll sit down to do that. So hopefully you can still hear me. So it's just, as you can see there, just putting together this beautiful, beautiful card, which I'm actually putting together to use as a wedding card. So I'm going to use a wedding type sentiment. So we'll pop that layer, that's our petal pink layer, onto our card base. Oh no, I've done it again. I need to put my ribbon on. This is just so frustrating. I keep forgetting to do it. I'm going to actually, forgive me, I'm going to just keep that off the card base for now and layer up on there. That was close. Anyway, forget about the card base. The card base is over there, and this is all going to stick. So I might actually turn that up the other way. I'm going to pop my embossed pool party layer onto our pink, which I've put the blue glue side up so I don't stick to my grid paper. Oh dear, nearly. I've done 2 takes of this video. Anyone who, nobody would know because I deleted the first one, where I'd actually forgotten to put the ribbon on entirely and then nearly did it again. Okay, so I'm popping my blue, pool party blue layer onto my petal pink. And I'm using double-sided tape, which I tend to use when I'm using heavily embossed folders, because it just makes sure that it sticks with enough sticking points on it. Then what I'm going to do is bring in our beautiful scalloped rectangle, and I'm also going to use double-sided tape on that because it's coming into the other side of our stitched embossed panel layer. Everything's all crooked now, apologies for that. So I'm just going to pop that in the centre. There we are. Then I'm going to glue our white. So basically, as I say, it is just a matter of putting all those wonderful elements together. Popping that central as well. Making sure it doesn't move. And then our designer series paper. So that looks, I think you'll agree, absolutely glorious, just as it's on its own. But the ribbon will add to it, and I'm not going to forget it this time. So the ribbon is going to come across around the centre, around all of our layers, and I'm going to tie it off here on the right hand side. So then you can imagine that our sentiment box will be over the top of it mostly, and there'll be a ribbon just off here to the side. So I'm going to line it up with my grid paper and go as central as I can. Actually, I'll tie it first and then I can move it around. Anyone who watches me, and I say it every time, I'm not overly good with the ribbons and the bows. Having had 2 boys, as my children are 2 boys, I never really got into bows. My mother used to always tie mine when I was little, so I never really tied them. But sometimes I can work it out. That's not too bad, just there. We'll just make sure that that's straight, and I'm happy with the positioning. Okay, so now we're going to bring in our sentiment box, and as I say, it's just going to sit there. Might bring that ribbon around to the right a tiny touch. There we go. I'm going to bring the sentiment box here into the centre here. I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals once I've stamped it. So as I say, this one's going to be a wedding card. So I'm going to stamp it with the wishing you every happiness this special day will bring, which I think is beautiful for a young married couple. I'm going, it fits perfectly in the centre of this little sentiment box. I can just position myself and it there. So there we are. And as I say, I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. I'll put one in the middle as well, just so I can capture my ribbon so it doesn't move around too much or at all. Stubborn. Pop that in there. There we are. So now this whole thing can go onto my, finally go onto my card base. There you are. So isn't that just beautiful? As I say, I thank the other demonstrator from the bottom of my heart for that design, and I will acknowledge her in the comments. Okay, so that's all I had to show you today. Hope you liked that one. Short and sweet. I had it all prepared before, which is good. Anyway, as I say, I'm Julianne Richards. I'm a demonstrator in southern Tasmania. If you haven't got a demonstrator and you'd like to talk about any of the products you see on my videos, please send me a message. And yeah, have a great day, and I will catch you all next time.